And this is also according to the Shade Room. Eve revealed some interesting tea on the talk. While chatting about Willow Smith's startling revelation about how fame drove her to cutting herself, the host said that when her career began to stagger in the mid 2000s, she ended up drinking heavily and doing drugs. At a time in my life, at a point in my life, I had gone through a dark hole, she said. I call it my dark hole period, my dark period. I was out of a toxic relationship. She probably talking about Stevie J. I didn't have a TV show, and I didn't have a record deal. Eve's TV show was canceled in 2006 after 3 seasons. I was just kind of like, what is happening with my life? So I started drinking a lot, she recalled. I didn't want to deal with my emotions. I didn't have anybody to really talk to. I was even popping Xanax and drinking to numb my pain. And at the time, while I was in it, I didn't see that I was harming myself. I just felt like I was coping, but I really wasn't. You know, you think of harming yourself as cutting or something, but drinking and drugs is exactly the same thing. Eve says she got her wake-up call after she crashed her Maserati and was arrested for drunk driving back in 2007. She ended up pleading no contest and was ordered to wear an alcohol-detecting ankle bracelet for 45 days, even though initially she was against it. Thankfully, I did, and it was able to get healthy, she said. I prayed myself through it. I finally started figuring out the things that I needed to do to make myself healthy. What do you think about that, Miss Sierra?
I think a lot of them deal with that, though. I think to be at the height where everybody, you know, knows who you are and loves you, and then for you to be dropped, kind of like almost dropped off the face of the planet, that has to be hard to deal with. I think that's the curse of being famous, especially, you know, because when her TV show was out, everybody was crazy, but I loved that TV show. So
I did too. Eve was lit. Like, that was a good show. I can't believe it got canceled.
I know. I love that TV show. And it was her being with Stevie J, and they said that she was going through, like, domestic violence. I don't know if she didn't mention that, but, you know, all that with him. It's just, it seemed like the normal thing for people in Hollywood to use that to cope with. You know, it's more accessible. They get it for free. And it's just like, it's easier than therapy. You have it at your disposal all day long.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that. And not only that, people don't really want to tell you no, too. So it's just like, even when they see that you clearly have a problem, like, I don't think it was someone close to her. I remember verbatim, back when, before TMZ was TMZ, there was like this show on E where it was like these paparazzi following around these celebrities. And I remember I would sit and watch it like all day. And it was this one time Eve was coming out the club and she was clearly like on something, like clearly tripping, like staggering. And they were like trying to push her through the crowd. And the paparazzi was like, Eve, are you drunk? And her, like, whoever was with her, I don't know if that was like her manager, was like, no, Eve doesn't drink. And I was like, this bitch don't drink. Like, she clearly is, she on something right now. Like, I remember thinking that in my head, like, is that, I mean, maybe she was having a good time, but I mean, clearly, you know. So you having a bunch of yes men on top of, you know, you clearly, the world is saying something different if your show got canceled. I know that was a lot to deal with, but I think that's dope that she spoke up about that. I really like Eve on the talk. I have not sat and watched a full episode, but I just love that she's just very vocal and doesn't sugarcoat anything. I know she like talked about, you know, her issues with Lil Kim, and, you know, she just is very open and honest, and I think that's very cool. Like, she's not trying to use her. Maybe that's why they got her on the show in the first place. She's not trying to put behind like this whole, you know, old school. I feel like a lot of times old school hip hop heads, they try to put up like this mysterious facade of being like too cool for school, and I don't think she is that. But she's also rich too. You know, she got a whole husband that's worth like $100 million. She got her own coin, so yeah. But I thought it was really dope for her to talk about that. Anyways,